All right. What do you think? That was pretty good. Good stuff right there,
I'm
huh?
getting some hate in the chat room. I'm just saying. I
I
didn't even
love
pay
it.
them to do that.
Bring
You
it.
just know you're onto something. That if you're getting hate, because if there's hate, that means there's a lot of people that probably love it and have just not said it yet.
Welcome to Cashville.
I don't know that that's how that works, John.
Oh, it's not. I mean,
I don't think so.
Hey, it is interesting that it can write songs. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a
Yeah,
pretty good version.
I like this. It's not just the songs Gary and Jesse quit 2 years ago. It's all AI at this point. I really want to try that. I'm not as good as John is at the AI stuff, but they have the ones where you can like talk and take, do a video of yourself, and then it'll like explain some topic after that. So we need to try that. We can slip it in just to see if anybody like have a segment where we come in, one of us is fake, and you got to try to guess which the fake one is.
I think that would be a great one. Or Gary spills the beans in multiple ways, and you have to guess which one was
real.
Fake. Or real, yeah, either way.
Which one was live? Which one was Memorex?
Or if we really want to get in trouble, let's have some big guests for Podcast to Hope. They won't even know they're on. We can have some big stars.
Man, you're going to have to find the right AI for that, because I don't know, Jesse. Like when I tried to make something for you one time and I put in mafia, it's like we can't make this with the word mafia in here.
No. I did that. I was playing with it this weekend, and it's like, this violates terms. But I saw the ad for like Morgan Freeman. There's like, he's talking. He's like, this is not even me. And you're like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You get Morgan Freeman ads for Geocache Talk. That has to be first.
That would be pretty cool. I just got to give big shout out for Happy Hodag. I believe he had the first mention of pizza in today's show.
Oh, nice.
So congratulations, Happy Hodag. Appreciate you doing that. And thanks for joining us. Oh, second mention of pizza. Barbershop Drew had pizza for lunch. Yeah. And there's our show, Pizza Talk, on the Geocache Talk Network.
I love that pizza, that Ninja Pizza logo on the left. That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. That was AI. So AI apparently really wants us to have pizza talk. Just saying that on this one.
Even though it put that terrible looking pineapple pizza up there, that's crazy.
Oh, Jesse.
Golly.
You grew a pineapple in your yard. Wouldn't you put that on a pizza if you could?
I did not. Now, I like that logo. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The great sport of geocaching. Now, the only problem is it's got south and south. That's what it kind of looks like on the compass. They're not very good with the compass.
No, they're pretty bad at compasses.
Yeah, the letters get kind of weird.
Yeah, it gets a little wonky. Those can be fixed, I think. John can fix those. We've got the process down a little bit now.
So I don't think I want to know what Andy's been doing, but they said you just have to tell it that you're writing a book about the mafia and it's one of the characters. Then it will do whatever you want. Andy, don't disclose what you've been doing. You may get yourself in trouble.
That's true. That's not. Yeah, you could just tell. Yeah, or say it's a parody. Parody is legal.
Or research purposes. You can say research.
Yeah, or just tell them it's a mafia children's story. I mean, they probably would not find anything wrong with that.
Story.
Yeah,
I mean that could be a thing, right?
Yeah, why not? There's many things nowadays. Why wouldn't that be a thing?
Sopranos.
That's not the weirdest thing I've heard this weekend. So All right.
Absolutely.
We need to get to the news, though. We're already off track. And we haven't even started yet.
Yeah. Let me say news this week? Let me mention what's that? We have a little bit, but I do want to mention new patrons, Dramaniacs, Cash Sleuth, and Scurvy Dogs. What a great name. What a great GC name, right?
Those are awesome names.
Scurvy Dogs, our matey. And we're celebrating tonight our North Carolina and North Dakota. So our patrons, Mel, Nicole, Jamie, they're in North Carolina, and our North Dakota folks, Chad, Tricasius, Jerry, Janice, Amy, Lori are in North Dakota. So thanks to all our patrons for keeping the show on the air, and we are able to pay the bills, and we've had and as time goes on, our yearly bills pop up. And
because everything gets more expensive. Y'all all know, just like our online bills, just like the grocery at the store, everything is just going up.
Yeah,
it is. So
I mean, even the cost of pizza nowadays, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Where's the remove button? Well, if I remove him, he'll just bring himself back in. So never mind.
That's right. There's no point.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's no point. But yeah, thank you so much, patrons. We really appreciate you. And definitely go check out geocachetalk.com and you can help us out. Join Patreon and make a difference and keep this show rocking. And we really appreciate that. So, because we love doing the show for all the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
And let's do a slight touch of news. If I can push the button. So, a quick note on Podcast of Hope. That's December 7th from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. Adjust the time accordingly for yourself. But December 7th, we'll be doing our 9th. Can you believe it, Jesse? Our 9th Podcast of Hope.
That is a long time.
9 years. It's been glorious. We have raised over $75,000.
That is incredible.
That makes me very, very happy.
Yes, me too. You mentioned we talked earlier about AI. One of the things I did was I have a new opening that we're created for the ninth year, and using again the some of the brand material that St. Jude provides to us now, which is great that they do that. So it's licensed and approved through they have a brand portal that we're allowed to be in and be a part of. And I was able to put together a video, and here's the freaky part is I have it using my voice reading it, but it reads it better than I can read it. So
that's crazy.
That wasn't you, Gary? When like I played it, I was like, man, Gary must have worked his tail off on this one.
Yeah. Sounds so articulate.
Think how crazy that is though. So I know we keep talking a lot about AI, but geocaching is a high-tech treasure hunt, right? So it makes sense because we know it's going to infiltrate more and more. It's just part of life. But you're doing a bumper using AI for the 9th year. The first year we were literally writing with a whiteboard.
Yes.
To try to keep up with it and calculating stuff and writing with a whiteboard. And that was our graphics, right?
Yeah.
So that's crazy that things have changed so much in 9 years that those things are openly accessible to us now. And we have to stay on the edge of it, right? Because this is geocaching. So
yeah. Absolutely.
Geocaching's always been about, pushing the technology, doing different things, So I mean, it just makes sense.
It's just funny that it's gone from a GPSR was pushing technology for a lot of people all the way up to where it is now, right? With a lot more high tech and where it's going to go in, 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah. The campaign is open, although we do suggest it's up to you. If you want to do it, if you want to give now, you can. If you want to wait till the day of, that works great. If you give early, like if you can't be on for Podcast Hope on December 7th, if you give early in our campaign, of course, none of the money ever comes to us. Just
no.
Want to make sure it goes straight to St. Jude, but we do sort of get credit for it in our campaign. And if you do give early, you are eligible for prizes, part of the first hour prizes. So we always put those people in. And a lot of people will give every hour. They'll take whatever they're going to give to St. Jude and they'll split it between, they'll split it this year. It'll be split it 6 ways and give every hour, because every hour We have prizes that we give away that are donated by our wonderful vendors and friends. But if you want to, you can go to podcastofhope.com right now. And that will, the campaign for 2024 is now updated. So just every year around this time, we're able to reopen the campaign to be part of the process. We're again part of what St. Jude calls Play Live. They've put people in different campaigns, and so our campaign is part of what they call is this year Play Live 2024, and it gathers together in groups folks that are they kind of put all the 5K and 10 and different, they put all the runners sort of in one group. And so they sort of like all the golf charity events, they put all the golfs in one campaign. And then we're in a group that is made up of gamers who
like Twitch streamers and stuff.
Twitch streamers, gamers, people that are doing that, and we're put in the pod. There's not a lot of podcasters that do it. It's more a lot of gamers, a lot of Twitch people. You're right. So that's why it's called Play Live. If you're wondering why, we don't play anything here, but that's why we're in that group, and it works great because we actually have gotten some prizes over the years being part of that group, which is kind of cool. It gives us a little exposure. And so, but it's obviously not about us. It's about the kids and the money being raised for St. Jude and the work they've done. And as you know, Jesse, we've talked about this before, but going through and making the little opening bumper thing is tough because, and I have to watch it multiple times because it's hard to watch and not break down.
Oh yeah.
And so
again, we say it all the time. It's the one thing we do all year that really, really matters. The rest of what we're doing is entertainment, right? So this is an entertaining show, or edutainment, as you call it, or whatever.
Yeah.
But and we've talked about it before, but the whole thing to take away from all of this is it doesn't matter whether you give now, on the show, later. We're trying to funnel it through here just so we can keep up with it and have an idea.
Yeah.
Everything else is give whenever you want, right? We just want people to give to St. Jude, whether you give now or during the show and want to save it and do prizes, and people break it up. We're geocachers, so we make a game out of everything, right? But if you want to give it, then break it up, do $1 at a time, whatever you're doing, whatever you can afford to give to them, just like we're going to do, we're going to give. You can be anonymous. If you're anonymous, we can't give you a prize because we don't know who you are, right? But you don't have to let people know who you are. We do have a lot of anonymous people every year.
We do.
You want your name on it so we can, do prizes and everything else. The whole point of the whole thing is to raise money for St. Jude. Now we're attaching our name to it so we can do a thing. And the show that we do that day is it's entertaining. It's just our way of providing something to you to thank you for giving for St. Jude, right? Yeah. It's nothing. We're a podcast. St. Jude runs off of millions and millions of dollars. We're never going to be a drop in the bucket for them, but we're still doing our part of whatever we can, right? So it's not about fame, glory, any of that other stuff. We don't get anything out of it. I think the important thing is we come together that one time in the year and we do our little bitty part and we feel good for it. And, $75,000 is nothing to laugh at, but that doesn't fuel them for a day, right? We're going to do everything we can. And all that matters is that we do this one time a year, and our kind of payback to everybody else is try to be as entertaining as we can for 5 or 6 hours and play games and give you some prizes back that we've been able to get a lot of people to donate. Because a lot of people also donate. A lot of the companies we deal with donate the prizes that we're giving out, right?
Yes,
so we're not taking away any money that we could be giving to St. Jude. People are donating the prizes and stuff like that. We're trying to. The whole idea is to maximize everything we can give to St. Jude, and as much as we can give, it's going to help out. We can't. It's never enough for St. Jude, but every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps.
Absolutely. And I mean, how cool to show what the geocaching community can do, with that. I mean, we all know geocachers are awesome on that. And, onto that one too. Bell on the Move brings up a great point. The coins for kids. I mean, to show all the cool
Oh my
things
gosh, I love that.
Neil Moore's doing, Jason Hailmeister. I mean,
yep.
Everybody on that side. That's incredible what those guys do and pull together.
Yeah, a lot of people
they pulled together a lot of people doing that. And again, it's just spreading awareness, right? Like you do it all year long, give to St. Jude, do whatever you want to do. Everything that spreads awareness is great. And that Coins for Kids is awesome. That's not us. They came up with that idea and they've been running with it for years, and it's helped raise some money too, right?
It has.
Yeah.
A lot of
Before we finish, Gary, make sure we give the time and date again.
Yeah, the time frame. I don't know if Karen's asking like what the time frame was of how we raised 75,000 over 8 years. I don't know if that's the time frame she was mentioning, or the time frame is you can give any time between now and actually after December 7th. You can give as well, and it'll be part of our Play Live 2024 campaign that we're part of. We're part of a bigger campaign.
But the prizes are just during the show.
The prizes are only during the show. Yeah. And it's December 7th, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the show's on the 7th. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. Adjust accordingly. A little bit of a difference. And now Jesse doesn't have to stay up till 1 a.m. like he did the last several years.
Look, you're already getting me in trouble anyway, because that's on Christy's birthday weekend. So
yeah, that's always tough. So,
but she obviously loves St. Jude, so we'll do anything for St. Jude. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And all right, well, let's and then the other thing I want to say is the secret project is progressing. There you go. I spilled.
Can we say that we'll be able to spill the beans by the end of the year? Is that okay to say?
You're spilling. That's Jesse spilling.
I think people wanted some pumpkin spiced beans spilled tonight.
I don't know. I think Jesse just wait a minute.
No.
Jesse
just spilled the beans.
First of all, I spilled no beans. I said beans will be spilled by the end of the year.
Yes. Well, that's in a sense spilling beans because
that's free beans. That's not beans.
No, I agree. I think my vote is you spilled the beans.
Well, it gave me a chance to play that little thing as well.
I got you. If you want to count that as beans, that's fine. But beans will be spilled by the end of the year. Beans. I'm not saying anything's happening.
You're talking major beans, though. You're talking major beans.
No, there'll be some major beans spilled. Yes. Yeah. That. This is a large project that is coming along. It's progressing, and that was what I wanted to say.
No, I can't wait to talk about it.
Rest assured. Yeah, me either. I'm just but I'm excited. It's going to be great, and it's just to give you an idea of how big it is. It's going to take time to even.
Yeah. We're not just waiting. It's
No, yeah. It's not like we're just It's not like we're waiting. We're working on this thing every week. There's something new. Almost every day, something new is happening. Making this thing progress closer to the finish line. So
I got to tell you, I keep on getting excited every day on this one. Just to hear the updates on this one.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we're 20 minutes in, and normally I would say we're really late on starting our topic, but we're actually not. Because our topic is about what we're doing for the rest of the year, right?
Yeah. We started.
These both fit in. These are two big, huge things going on this year. We're almost done with the year, and there's still two huge things happening.
Yeah, very much so. All right. Well, we're going to get into some fall goals, and we're going to kind of go around the horn, and we'll each kind of talk about some ideas and some thoughts. One thing I wanted to start with that's sort of is sort of a general statement I wanted for you guys to comment on, which is it kind of goals for fall can really, and just John and I talked about it a little bit before the show, but it can really it can really be based on where you live. So for example, fall in New York is different than fall in Florida.
For sure.
There are some environmental things. So what are some things, and Jesse, you've lived in Colorado, you've lived in Florida. I mean, you've lived and you've lived in Memphis. I mean, so what are your thoughts on what are your thoughts on fall in the varying environmental possibilities?
Well, I suspect very similar to what John faces, not what you face, but like in Colorado, we definitely, all of our groups, me and Christy, and then all of our groups, extended groups, we definitely changed how we cached based on the time of year. Because for me, when I lived out there, my primary caching goals were all related to being in the mountains. I wanted to be in the mountains. I wanted to be on the trails all the time, and even though we didn't stop in the wintertime, and I had a good group in Colorado. Season doesn't make a difference.
Don't get shot.
I've got stories about that, but we didn't stop during the winter season, even though it would snow, but it did increase the difficulty, not just because it was cold, but because it was hard to get to caches.
Right.
So, like one time we had a gathering. It was dead of winter. It was up a mountain, finding a hard cache that's even harder in the summertime. We got up there. This was hours and hours for one cache.
Wow.
We get up there and we had to turn around and we had a DNF on it. We could not get to it because, of course, there was down trees and everything else. We expect that, but we could not dig out to where it was. In that kind of weather, blizzard, your GPS is worthless. You're in the general area. We knew generally where it was, but we couldn't get to it because it was down under rock and frozen and snow, a couple feet of snow. You couldn't physically get to it. Now, we still had a blast.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great trip, great day. But you do have to alter what you're doing. Now, going out in the winter is possible, but obviously during the fall and the winter is possible, but you're probably not going to do it as much. Like if you check people in like Colorado stats or probably New York, the numbers, the year chart, it goes like this.
Absolutely.
Everything, even LPCs are hard when they put all the snow up against it and you can't get to it. I carried a shovel just for LPCs sometimes.
Right.
So it's totally different in areas that are affected by the winter. Now here in Florida, it's the same all year round.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. Now mine is not based on that. It's based on my new job. So
that's true.
In the school system during the summertime, that's where I'm getting my caching in because I have the time to do it.
Now you're back to school.
It's not weather based. It's time based now. I got time away from the job. I can do a lot more, and it'll slow down here towards the end of the year because I'm back doing school and everything else. So it definitely where you are and and what your job even is affects what your goals are for all the quarters.
Yeah. I want to bring up something on here because TKD Scouter Tony brings up a great one. Don't get shot during hunting season, because for me, working on trails, this is something we all should be very mindful of, because a lot of times, can you go out on trails when it's actually like fall time and hunting season? You can. Is it something you really want to do? Probably not. I mean, let's face it, every year, unfortunately, there are accidents on this one. I know for me, my fall plans that I'm taking a look at on this one really do shift because of this, because on my goals, I'm going to say this on my goals for a few, it's going to be impact my finding goals, my hiding goals, and my event goals, so to break it down in those three areas. Hiding goals, I'm going to make it a goal for this fall to hide caches that are friendlier and safer for people to find during hunting season.
Right.
And Happy Hodag, I agree. If you got to go out, if it is in the woods, certainly wear blaze orange. I mean, that certainly helps wearing those high vis vests.
Yeah.
But you still got to be careful. That's still no guarantee out there.
No.
Because I know in the county where I live, unfortunately, there's been, deaths, over the years because somebody hears something, fires in a direction, and it's actually somebody who's in that direction. It's not an animal, But I think,
anything unless you know what it is. Always ridiculous.
And that's the way it should be.
It's just ridiculous. People should know better. You never shoot anything unless you know for certain what you're shooting at.
Absolutely.
But people are dumb. People don't do what they're supposed to do. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I think for me, so some of my goals is going to be to get some hides out there, not on the trails, but to get hides out there that people can access in a much more safer area. I know for me, I have an adventure lab saved up, actually 2. So my goal for the fall is to actually get those out, maybe get one out in the fall and then get one out in wintertime.
Oh, okay.
Because like Jesse was saying, I mean, LPCs are no guarantee. You can think like LPCs are easy, and then you pull up, and that's where they like plow like a 10 to 12 foot snow mound.
And put it on the side of the road, or put it on top of the lamps.
And you cannot indiscreetly get that LPC whatsoever when it has that much snow on it.
You're trying to dig it out. People are like, why is this guy digging on a lamp? You're like, did you lose something, sir? No, just dig it out the lamp.
It does take a hit to your ego when you have to DNF an LPC.
Yes.
It's just, you're saying you don't feel good about that.
When you're saying on the Adventure Lab, are you saying you want to go find some that are Adventure Labs? Or are you trying to hide some?
I'm going to create some.
Some. Okay, so you've got one that you want to create, or a couple, right?
I got a couple. So one I want to create is the wonderful world of pizza. I know this is a hard subject matter for you guys to expect me to do.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking I'm going to do this one. But I think, people who have those Adventure Lab credits saved up. Yeah, and we're back to the Pizza Talk segment of the show. So welcome to Pizza Talk on the Geocache Talk Network. I'm joined here by Gary, my pizza-loving friend, and Jesse, who does not love pineapple pizza yet, but I believe there is still hope for him someday.
I'm going to leave.
So on
that note, there's some on TV I can go watch. So.
Man, come on.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Come on, Gary.
I'm sorry.
And pasta, lasagna, or Pizza Talk. Yeah, we can broaden the show, Dave. We want to be
I love pizza. I just right now I'm trying to stay away from as many carbs as possible. I'm trying to get a little weight off the body.
Yeah, I know.
To get a little more slim.
And don't hate me, Gary, for all those pictures I'm sending you on that side.
No, I'm kidding.
You're doing an opposite, Gary. You're supposed to put on the weight during the wintertime. That's when you got to.
I know. Well, yeah,
the thickness.
Trust me, I have enough. I can hibernate for many winters. Many winters, but I am losing some weight. I mean, y'all saw me recently. I mean, that's not svelte.
Yeah, you are down.
It is better.
Yeah,
it is better.
It's from all those Jasmine caches. You got to get out in the woods and walk a long way.
Yeah, I really enjoyed, and we'll get into that. Not that particular thing, but I'm just saying, fall is a good time maybe to do some finishing of goals. I know we all try to, and I know we talked about before, and something we probably, Jesse, want to do in January is talk about the goals for the next year.
Yeah.
And I know some people who set goals, hey, it's fall. If you want to get your goals done, you're running out of months real quick here.
I'm going to talk about finishing goals too in just a minute when it's my turn. But before John finishes up, Gary, do you have a lab cache credit too?
I do. I still have one.
Okay, so we all three have at least one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to propose a future show before we finish this year.
Okay. That
all three of us come on and talk about, as we're releasing our lab caches, our ideas for it. That'll keep us honest and not putting out terrible lab caches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
Let's all three, whenever we're going to put them out, let's all three come back and discuss our ideas. And obviously, we're going to try to one-up each other, but just to keep it quality and not putting out just some stupid lab cache, that'll keep us honest, right? Let's come up with a good idea for that. So I just want to throw that out there. We'll table it till later, but since we all three have one, that'll stop us from doing some silly parking lot multi-guess answer terrible thing.
I like that, and I think people then who still have credits too, at that point, bring your ideas to that show and put them out there. Let's talk about them, because if we can all do some to help out with those safe adventure labs and some winter hides for people too. Yeah. Because I mean, that's a tough time of year when you get to winter and you're thinking like, okay, I mean, at least in the northern climates where you're getting a ton of snow, it's getting super cold and you're not getting out as frequently.
Right.
Adventure labs could be a very cool way to help your fellow cachers out for sure.
I love it.
No question.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead, John. You were finishing up your
yeah.
hunter-friendly caches.
Yeah, so hunter-friendly safe caches on that one. So I think there's a lot of things that people can do off the trails if it's adventure labs, even challenge caches. That's a cool time to hide some urban challenge caches out there too. Create some mystery and puzzles on there too. There's a lot of things you can do, but I think helping out your fellow cachers with some cool safe hides is a great way to do it. And I know I'm going to do that. One person I have to give shout out to is K-Blast. Next weekend, K-Blast and I are aiming to do the pizza trail.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Seneca County in Ohio. So
very cool.
Man, looking forward to that one for sure, sir. So
that's
can't wait
awesome.
to tackle that one. That one's going to be awesome on that side.
So your first goal is winter-friendly / hunter-friendly caches and lab caches? So physical and lab caches.
Correct. And putting lab
Where are you going to hide all these where I goes?
Where he goes? The reverse where it goes. We're still working for
get over
people
that.
to volunteer in Florida.
Love it.
If that's the best you can do is a reverse where I go, I'm disappointed in you, John.
Whoa.
Have you ever hidden where I go?
Absolutely. I have the only where I go hidden in my county on that one.
You have only one?
Oh, is this going to be a challenge on this one, Jesse?
I think so. That needs to be at least one of these caches needs to be where I go.
Okay.
What are you going to do? Just a lame, boring traditional? Come on now.
Come on. I have a lamppost I've been specking out for months now on this one.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Straightest, best looking lamppost I've ever seen in my life.
As soon as you finish your prescription, you've got your container ready, right?
Nice.
Well, yeah. I mean, what am I going to do with the empty prescription container?
That's right.
Make sure you don't take.
I'm going to put it right outside my pharmacy in that lamppost. I mean, that's exactly what I've been aiming to do.
Yeah, don't take your prescription information off either. That's a faux pas. You should always
leave that on there with your address and everything.
Yeah, and happy Hodag going to Pizza Come on that pizza trail. I know I was texting Bounce the other day, and I said something to Bounce. I was like, I don't know if you can overdose on pizza, but I will find out after this week.
You're going to find out.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
My other goals, Jesse, my finding goals. Okay. Those are my hiding goals. My finding goals are to find a night cache. We all know with fall happening earlier, getting dark earlier on this one.
Yeah.
Finding a night cache. Night caches are awesome. If I can find a night cache before hunting season with people when it's during that safe time,
they're awesome if they're done right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. They're awesome if they're done right. Go ahead.
If it's done right and you have the right group of people with you to have fun with that,
I agree.
So I think if you couple those together, because I mean, don't get me wrong, you can do a night cache as just yourself, and it can be cool. But I mean, that's such an awesome group experience on that one to do a night cache.
Absolutely. The first night cache I ever found was with a group, and it was fun.
How about a UV night cache? Tom mentions.
I've never done one of those.
That's kind of cool. Bring your UV light. That's tricky then to try to use a UV light and find the tags or whatever to use to.
Well, you're assuming there's going to be fire tags. There's not always fire tags.
There might not be. You're right. There may not be fire tags. Yeah. That's true. But yeah, a night cache that's done well is awesome. But try the nightmare that Susan and I did in Texarkana. I think it was Texarkana. Yeah, I think it was Texarkana. It was in Texarkana, and it was a nightmare. And we never finished it. And sure enough, nobody finished it out. I mean, nobody was able to do it after we did it. So it'd been broken with whatever they broke, whatever got broke in the whole thing. You couldn't complete it. It's just like a where I go, you can't complete. It's frustrating.
Well, yeah. And that's a bummer because if you go out with a group and you don't know that, you know, that sucks.
Yeah. So
it's like multi-caches.
Check. And that's the bad part was on this particular one, the person before us, I did check and they had found the whole thing, but when we tried it, no good. So, and then of course we were the first to find out this thing was fully broken. So
Yeah, and Tom brought up some other details. The coolest UV night caches had darn near every rock along the trail painted. It was way cool when we turned around and saw the trail glowing. That's a really neat idea.
that is cool. And you can use
That is
UV
cool.
paint. You could use a UV paint for that too. That'd be kind of cool.
So Bell on the Move asked, are fire tags still allowed? I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything otherwise.
I've not heard anything different either.
Yeah.
Poor Eminem. See, Eminem from Eminem had the same experience I did. Every night cache I've ever tried to find has been unsuccessful. He's never.
Yeah, I find it's easier if you just go for them during the daytime.
Well, many people do that, and
I know it's a bummer.
It's a bummer. So if it's done right, I like it. So go ahead, John. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah, and I think Eminem and what one thing I got to say on this one too is sometimes, at least I found for like night caches, getting a couple people, because at least for me, like one time my friend was out on the trail, and he stayed on the trail, and I went way off the trail. Like I want to say way off. I couldn't even see his light. I could still hear him. So I could really kind of hunt around for the fire tax on that one. But you have to be comfortable with that sometimes, if that night cache is still out there. But just having those right people there sometimes make a big difference. But getting to my other finding goals on here too, I'm going to look while I'm traveling. I'm going to do some traveling for work, is fill in some Jasper months, that I don't have, that I'm still missing in those other areas. So I'm going to work on that one. For me, one of my finding goals is solving puzzles. So, I mean, those when it's kind of like it gets dark early
or the weather,
and you're thinking like maybe you'd still be caching, typically if it was summertime.
Yep.
To me, that's when I start kind of digging more into puzzle caches and trying to like look and solve those.
Sure. That's a good time. Good time to solve puzzles is definitely, like you said, winter, fall, winter, depending on where you live. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. It in my other one too, I'm going to mention on here for my finding goal is saving local finds for filling in calendar days. If you're looking to either like fill in a calendar day or add to it, but saving those for days that you need. And I know that's one of those things that's always tempting when you have like a new cache pop up and it's like maybe 5 miles from you and you're thinking like, man, I should go out and grab this right now. But, strategically thinking, can I use that in a different way?
Yeah.
When it gets a little closer, because I know for me, I probably told people like I live a mile south of Lake Erie. Yeah. So it's like I'm not getting any caches north of me. I'll tell you that much because of that lake. So I got like south, I got east, and I got west. So So on that one, I have to be a little bit more selective on stuff like that too.
You could go north. It's just harder to get across the border right now, right? They don't want you in Canada. You're not really a Canadian. You're not allowed in Canada, right? Is that right?
Oh, no. That's been clear, Gary. They no longer have forbidden me from going to Canada.
Oh, okay. So. You're allowed back in the country. Okay.
So,
yeah, it was just a
but there's a lake in the way, is what you're saying.
Right. Yeah. With that lake on that one.
Did you do your adventure labs in that lake?
Ooh, that could be a fun one.
Interesting. So you can't do the adventure lab unless you're actually on a boat.
T5 adventure lab. I like it.
I like
that
it.
Would
T5.
be pretty cool.
And
that would be pretty cool.
You could geofence it down to one little spot on the lake. You have to get out to that spot. Yeah.
I like that idea.
That's a potential idea.
I like it. That's cool.
I don't know if I've ever seen one like that. Have you guys? I mean,
I don't think I have either.
I know there's ones that are kayaking, like
adventure labs
along some other caches or whatever. But I've never seen one in the middle of a lake, especially not a large lake like that.
Right. Because most of the time you're trying to make them so that they're found like real often, but this is sort of a different tack on it to say, you know what? Let's create it. So
how long do you think a set would last in North Korea? I'm just throwing that out there. If I was to just put them out in North Korea, how long till I got reported? What do you think?
I don't think it would. I don't think
somebody would rat on me.
Maybe.
Do you think
it wouldn't be found because nobody's downloading the Adventure Lab app in North Korea? We could put it right on the DMZ, like right on the border, so those South Koreans could get to it. But
I'm
I don't
really
know.
not trying to make an enemy out of
Probably
any of
not.
the so I'm gonna pass. But it still would be funny.
Put a 5 stage at
Yeah.
the top of Mount Everest, at the very, very top. So
Okay.
There is allegedly a where I go there that's never been found.
Really, that's
Oh.
cool.
Yes, because it's competing with me for the highest elevation where I go in the world.
So
It's
Judy's
never been
saying,
found, so I don't think it counts. Unless it ever gets found, then that's a different
yeah,
thing.
that's true. Judy's saying they're in Bamarama.
Oh, cool.
You could do
Yeah.
one of the stages from land. The rest, I guess, you had to get out on the.
Yeah.
on
Now
the
that's
water.
something I want to try to get to next year, but that's totally off the topic. Or maybe it's not. We'll find out.
Maybe.
Well,
not.
I gotta say though, I gotta say, because for planning for fall, I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking about events on there, both fall events for this year and then
That's good.
also planning events for the following year.
Mhm.
I know 3 events that I'm looking at already for the fall, and I'm so bummed I can't do going caching because I can't get the time off of work to go to going
Yeah.
caching.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'd love to do that.
I have a
um,
conflict, so I can't go. But yeah, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
as you do them, I'll bring them up. So I'll bring them up. There's the first one.
Yeah, October 6th, Hailmeister and Geo Elmo.
Oh,
They're
that's
going
cool.
for some Jasmer caches, so they're doing it in I think
Nice.
it's like New York, Ontario, and I think Pennsylvania too. So they actually have a event October 6th up in like Hamburg, New York, by Buffalo, New York.
Yep.
And then Captain Math, this was cool. He reached out to me earlier today about an event that he's having up by Rochester, October 11th, and I'm like, man, that's another cool one on that side. And then, another cool event too. It's like, man, and talk about fall events. October 19th, Geo Coin Fest in Syracuse,
gosh.
New York.
Yeah, Jam Coin
So,
Fest.
For me not being able to travel and get time off of work, and for having those 3 cool events not too far from me,
That's pretty nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm
the
pretty excited.
Hellmeisters, for folks that are listening, GCAXPHB. Captain Maths is GCAXA1F. And CoinFest is GCAGKJF, in case you were wondering. That's October 19th. So
All in October. That's nice.
very cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited about those, but also I don't know about you guys. For my fall planning, it's like I'm trying to firm up and commit for my 2025 events too on that one, including a
Nice.
block party and a mega.
Yeah. I'm looking at 2025, but I haven't really started planning for it yet. I've looked at a few of them, but that'll be my December planning for the next year.
Yeah. Some of that's sort of up in the air. Some of it I'm kind of like Jesse. I've got an idea of which ones I'm going to go to next year, but I don't have anything firm in the ground yet as far as but I'm looking ahead. But looking ahead, hoping and sort of planning for Tony's doing a Before the Snowflies event, October 19th,
Cool.
year in a 19th
That's
year in a
really
row.
cool.
That's really cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a good idea. Before the Snowflies. I love it.
Yeah,
What a
there's so much in 25. It's a whole different show.
Yeah, 2025. Do you guys have a community celebration event awarded to you? I have one too. It's weird that they awarded it this far in advance, I think.
They're giving out a bunch of them though. So they're going to keep handing them out, but you can't do them until 2025.
Yeah, because they're 20. Yeah. But it's just
I wonder though how many they gave out, because it just seems like from everybody who I've been hearing has been getting one.
They said they're giving out basically all of them, like
thousands of them.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of them.
Yeah, everybody got
It'll
one.
be hard to find a regular event next year. Everybody's gonna be doing a community event next year.
Absolutely.
But that's cool.
It's good. It's something new. It's very different. So
yeah,
I'll definitely be trying to boost my numbers on that next year.
2025. Yeah, the community celebration. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go real quick. And then I'll let Jesse go after me. But one of the things that I'm sort of planning for here couple things. October, we are doing another run with the Molly Caching crew. And what's interesting about it is, I think I've talked about this before, but the Garland Geo Tour is version 1 is wrapping up, and we just finished it a few weeks ago, and they're coming out with the Garland Geo Tour version 2.
That's
and we're
great.
like, oh, let's do it again. So we have to wait. It hasn't been published yet, but once it's published, we've got a date scheduled to go out and do the 30 or whatever they do with that. So that's planned. But I with the weather being better in the South when it's as far as traveling around, I mean, we've done it. Jesse's been there. He knows, you can cache 100-degree weather. It's just tricky. You just have to plan accordingly. But in the fall, it's just so much easier to get out on the trails. At least as far as in the South part, we don't have snow. We don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to. I'm planning to complete Arkansas. Wow. So
before the end of the year.
Before the end of the year, yeah. Okay. I'm going to do Arkansas. I got one extended trip left. I've got some time scheduled to do Arkansas because I've done Texas, Oklahoma, Hawaii. I know this is weird to sound, but I've got Hawaii, Oklahoma, Texas. What are the other states I've done? Anyway, those are the ones that come to mind. But I'm close on Arkansas, so I think with an extended trip during the week, I think I can finish another state, and so looking forward to that. I'm close on New Mexico, but I want to plan that for another time. But anyway, so that's one of my major goals, and then I've got some mini trips I'm going to take, like just weekend type trips I'm going to do, and I'm trying to complete a couple other minor goals, minor challenge type items, and so it'll be interesting to try to see how those all come about. But I think that's where I'm in the current planning stages for the fall. So those are mine. As far as hiding, because you mentioned I really didn't have a hiding goal, John, but that's not a bad idea. I have been shoring up and removing actually, and collecting some of my caches in some areas that I think are just needing somebody else. I've had them out in areas, and I'm retiring some of these particular caches, and the community, the geocache community I live in is such a mixed bag where some people hide, some people don't. Some people do. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, we do have some folks in the area. They haven't hit a cache ever. They found thousands. They've never hit a cache. So I don't know really what to tell them other than you need to go, you need to get off your butt and go hide a cache. But anyway, so I don't really have a hiding goal. So I just have.
Well, your adventure labs.
Yeah, well, that one we got to. Yeah, we'll figure that one out. I don't have really anything firm for that. So I don't know. So Jesse, what are some of your thoughts on this?
So my first one is kind of a reverse goal, but I'll say it anyway. But it speaks to what we'll probably talk about later in the year when we're talking about how we did for this year and starting for next year.
Yep.
My first thing is to be okay with not getting one of my goals for this year.
Okay.
So I talked about it before, but made it to Alaska. Our goal this year that we've been working towards for many, many years was to finish off this year. We were supposed to finish our 50th state in Alaska this year.
Right.
But it happened to be on the weekend we were going to go through Idaho to get to Alaska to get our 49th and 50th state. So I have to just be okay with the fact that I'm not getting all 50 states this year. And Idaho is going to be my final instead of Alaska. To totally out of my control. There's a big computer crash. You know, people were stranded everywhere. It
that
could have been
whole
worse. It could have
crazy-
not made it to
Such a
Alaska,
bummer.
right? So being okay with not getting your goals, I think, is just as important, right? Like,
Sure.
life comes first, family comes first, things happen. You can't let it devastate you. Now, I said a few choice words at the time. However, you got to get over it eventually and go, okay, I'm not going to let that ruin it. I'll just move that off to next year. And
Yeah.
I'll make it a really fun goal for next year, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing to think about is we're setting these goals. The number one goal for Geocache is to have fun.
Oh,
All these
absolutely.
other goals are secondary, right? So
Yes.
having said that, that goal fell through, but I had a lot of fun on the way to that goal. I just have one little thing to tick off on the way, and then I'll get it next year, right?
Yeah.
But my kind of big goals for coming up is, like we've already talked about, I got a set of adventure labs. I'm going to hide those. We're all three going to hide those. I want to really do it in a creative way.
Sure.
I don't want to just do something boring. I want to do something really fun. I like adventure labs. We've been finding a lot of them. I want to
Oh yeah, I love them too.
give that back out there, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
we've kind of already talked about that. So I do have a plan that I've been working on for a long time. I got to find a really good location for it. The location kind of determines how I decorate the container. It's a
Okay.
very large container.
Sure.
And it'll be gadgety, but not super gadgety, but gadgety.
Okay.
And it's a large container, like chest high container from the ground.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
It's going to be a
It's
letterbox.
going to be awesome.
It's really cool. You know what it is, John.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not spilling
but,
beans, but it's going to be really, really sweet.
I think so too, but I got to find a great location for it, right? I've been really working on that, and I'm trying to get it done by the end of the year because it's going to take a lot of work, and it's not one that's easily replaced if it messes up. So
Yeah.
I want to
You
get that one creative
careful.
container out. And I'll come on to talk about it when it happens, but this will be my coolest thing that I've ever put out. So I really want to get that done this year.
Wow.
But I got to have a safe, secure place for it too. And I want it to be both a letterbox and kind of a travel bug hotel kind of deal. There's a lot of stuff I'm trying to do in one cache.
Right.
So the other things I want to do, and this was kind of the weird statistical thing. Do you ever find those weird stats and you're like, oh, I want to, this is a weird thing. Like,
oh yeah.
Like for me, it's just one of those weird deals where like when I found out they were going to close off benchmarks, I rushed out and started finding a bunch of them so I could get 500 and lock it at that forever.
Yeah.
So it's an even number, right? Well, there's been this one weird stat that's been bugging me since 2014.
Okay. Wow. That's
you have your, how many caches you find per year. Well, in 2014, I found 2,012 caches.
Whoa, that's a good
and
year.
That has bugged me ever since because I'm like, that is so close to being an awesome number.
You're so close.
Yeah.
So close. So this year, I'm going to find exactly 2,024 caches.
2024. How far?
I'm only like 400 something away from it, so I can find that, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But key is not only finding enough, but not finding enough too soon. So I don't want to go over. I want to get exactly 2024. So the year in caches, I want to get the exact number. So it'll be a lot of planning going into it because you got to speed through and then slow down, right?
And slow down.
I've done it once before where I was trying to hit a milestone and I was trying to hit it on New Year's Eve. And in the last 2 days, I had to go and find like 150 caches.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, but we got it. We're trying to hit exact milestone on that New Year's Eve.
Right.
Because we were going to be with family at the time.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm going to have to find, I think it's only like 416 caches, which I can find before the end of the year. But it's going to be a lot of.
I'm sorry. One thing to remember is on typically every year, at least lately, they always give a souvenir on December 31st and they give one on January 1st. Just FYI, but not that souvenirs we've talked about those before. So keep going. Yeah.
1,500 of them were in those last week, Jersey.
1,500
of them were for sure.
Yeah.
And guess what? More will be too. There'll be more adventure labs. But so the tricky part of that goal is not finding 400 caches. You can find 400 caches in 4 months, right?
Yeah.
It's finding exactly 2,024 caches just because I want it to be locked into my stats for that year being the exact same thing. Oh, so she did it last year, or Karen did it last year. That's awesome.
Karen did it.
That's really cool.
So it's just vindication from previously when I had it and I missed it by
You're that
2
close.
caches. I can't tell you how close I've been in the past to be like, I got weak and like, I'm just going to go back and backdate some caches and get it even. But I didn't. It's still on my stats. You can check it. I didn't change it. But so I want that one. It's kind of a dumb, weird one, but it's a weird stat I've been wanting to do for a while. And I think I'm going to be able to get it.
That's
really
so
the
cool
other things I want to do is the last kind of one thing we're going to do. We've been planning them and we've traveled a bunch, but we haven't in years. So Christy and I used to go out on something we call geo dates. We talked about it before, but we would literally just jump in the car and we would go and just drive in random areas, going cache to cache, but drive through a bunch of counties, not county caching, and find a random, lunch place and spend the whole day, just the two of us,
That's
just going
cool.
out caching.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd get 12 caches in the whole day because we'd just be riding and talking and finding new places. And sometimes we would get, 100 caches in one day.
Sure.
But it was specifically no other distractions, just the two of us. And that would be our date for the weekend. And we called them geo dates, and we go out and just do specifically that.
Yeah.
So we've got a couple planned coming up. And we want to get back to where we're doing at least one of those a month. So we're going to start those now and hopefully be able to continue those in the next year. But that's when we had the most fun caching.
Yeah.
We go out. We love caching with the kids, but this was just for us. So we go out on a geo date. We'd really look forward to it. And the whole day would be about just finding random weird locations and caching along the way. The caching is really more just a vehicle to have time to, talk and everything. But
no, that's awesome.
Bringing it back to where caching is a couples thing for us. Yeah. And I think that sounds like a weird goal for geocaching, but it's really not, because geocaching for us is, it's a big time family thing.
Yeah.
The numbers are important, but which is funny because I just said a numbers goal, but the numbers are important, but they're not even anywhere close to as important to us as the family time and aspect together. So that's really our biggest goal that we're trying to do is the geodates. It's probably the most important goal. And we want to get them started and start hitting at least one every single month and just having fun with that.
No, that's perfect. That's kind of what I was mentioning before is that, it's a fall goal, but for us, it's sort of a seasonal goal, which is the getting together, the little Motley caching crew getting together and spending a day geocaching, or of late, we've been doing, usually, like I mentioned, we do about, and we're all busy, but we try to commit to at least 4 of these times together per year. And lately, we're also trying to commit to 1 trip a year together where we go somewhere. Like we went to, awesome. Last year we went to Oklahoma City, or one year we went to Austin and cached and did other stuff, where, like, we went to Austin, we went to the, we did a bunch of caching. We also went to, and we did Necropolis, which takes a little bit of time. You have to get to Necropolis in Austin, in case you're wondering, you've got to go do this cache too. It's unbelievable. And it's great to do, and it'd be great to do around Halloween, because it's Halloween themed, I guess you could say. But you gotta walk the trail, walk along this ridge, and then you have to walk down, and it's a little bit of a hike to get to this thing. But again, it was one of these memorable trips, and so we already did our trip this year, our trip, travel trip, but we're, the fall again is another opportunity for us to, get together and do, as Tom's mentioning, trail to probably use some trimming up. It's a little bit of a, it's, the trail is fine. It just, you have to you sort of pick your way along. You can't really do it. It's a trail. You can't do it really fast. It just is you're kind of on the side of a hill for quite a bit of the time. So it's not an easily navigable trail. So, but anyway, back to you guys. That was, something that is just a good time to plan. It's different because, well, it's a weekend thing, but it really is different. For Jesse and for others. Some people, work comes back into the fold in the
Yeah.
fall. So
Yeah, we have a lot of educators that kind of listen and join in frequently. So they're on those weird schedules too, right?
Yeah. And so, like, John, do y'all have, I mean, does SUNY do they have a fall break, or they just have a winter, or they just have a spring break?
Yeah, so for us, there's like a fall break for like 2 days, and then certainly we have Thanksgiving break. But
not really.
For me working in like higher ed, a lot of it too, because I know people have been like, "Hey, what are you going to?" And it's like I still got to like figure out kind of my travel for work schedule. Because with conferences and stuff like that to go to, I still have to figure that out, because I mean, part of that can be cool, because if you're going to a location that you've never been or don't go to frequently, hey, that's a lot more cool caches potentially you could go to. Like, at the same time, I mean, it can make it tricky, because if people are saying, hey, are you going to be at this event? You kind of cross your fingers and you hope so, but then you hope to figure that one out as well too. So
Sure.
For us in like higher ed, it's kind of like, our semester just started 2 weeks ago. And crazy to think it was just 2 weeks ago, but at the same time, it's kind of then figuring out for a lot of our travels how those are going to look, maybe through like May or even June of this coming year. So I know I'm hoping to get a lot of that settled, because I know I'd love to make it to like Geo Woodstock, at least a block party as well too. I think it's a cool thing when your problem is there's just so much awesome geocaching going on. You can't make it to everything on that.
No, there's no. Well, I mean, we haven't even mentioned Mingo. It's 25 years old this year. There'll be a mega for that. I mean, there's so many megas, and obviously Cache Fest in Hawaii, and there's so many cool things. And you're 25, there's going to be tons of cool crap. There's going to be stuff everywhere. There's no way. Well, there's no way for me to make it to everything. I know that.
No,
unless I win the lottery really quickly. There's no way to make it everything.
Well, hey, if you want to do a Geo lottery ticket, like group ticket, sign me up, man. I'll do it. And, we do that. We get that private jet to take us to all the megas out there,
Just send me all your money and I'll tell you if we won.
Oh, really? You do that for me?
I do that just for you.
Well, man, I appreciate it. I know you're a math and a numbers guy. And
yeah. We should probably buy a lot of tickets though. So send me a lot of money.
Okay.
I know.
I know. All my people get it over to you.
Okay.
Yeah, really. I know we've actually. There's been, not spilling too many beans, but I know we've actually had some thoughts, or at least basic thought about 2026. What we're going to do in 2026. So, but we have nothing firm. No firm plans yet.
That's not even close
have some
to
ideas. So that's
poppycock. We can't even think about that right now. That's
not yet. All right. So
would be pretty cool.
I've got some beans to spill, and then I want to go around the room and give everybody sort of final thoughts as we wrap up. So let me spill some beans. But actually, John put this in the notes, so it's John's fault. But it's good beans, and that is he wanted to let people know that GC36 is back active.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was on, man, my heart still goes out to Jesse, because I mean, what a stinker for an experience.
What timing on that, huh?
Yeah. And as you were talking, Jesse, it just jogged my memory, being like, I heard this GC36 Geocache 612 is now available for people to find again, and people have been finding that. I think it just,
and surprisingly, people are finding it left and right, which
just came back online.
Whether they were there or not,
I already found it. I ain't worried about it. So
they're gonna log.
That's in the past for me. I ain't worried about it.
Okay,
I don't blame you. I hear you.
Good for everybody to know, though, because I know a lot of people were concerned about that. What would happen?
It didn't really move very far. I'm sorry, but
technically, I'm going to be going back to it anyway, because I got to get the one that's down the road. So I got to get what's the boating one? The boating one nearby. I've got to go back and get it.
Oh, Power Island.
Power Island. Yeah.
I got to go back and get it anyway. So me and Barry are getting that next summer, so it doesn't really matter for me.
Sweet.
Oh, awesome. Good for you guys.
What's hysterical is somebody took a log It's so stupid. Okay, this is for another show, but the log, somebody took a picture of the log book because it's been redone,
Mm-hmm.
and they put FTF. It's like
I love that.
It's not an FTF. You
So,
can't.
we don't want to get into it, but it basically is, because that owner that hid that cache is not in the game.
Right.
So that's a whole
FTF.
different show, but let's not even get into that right now. You're right. We're not even getting into that, but these zombie caches are out of control. I mean, I'm glad that was still going.
Yeah.
But it's just, come on now. We're ridiculous at this point.
So the person that took it over, again, this is so they wrote, in collaboration with Geocaching HQ and the Michigan reviewer team, I will be responsible for this cache going forward. I have a home very near the cache and am in the area at least once, twice a month. I know the significance and specialness of this cache. And they wrote, I have temporarily removed all of the logbooks out of the cache and placed a new ammo can near the old location. I understand that some folks legitimately found this cache before I rescued it in July and have yet to log it. I will be monitoring logs, and anyone who post dates a find will without having their name in a logbook will have to delete it, so forth, so on. So, and then somebody right after that, they took the photo and
I love the FTF. That's funny.
I gotta show the photo real quick because this is so stupid. But oh my gosh, seriously, people. Okay, there's the photo.
FTF. I love it. That's hilarious.
FTF. See if I can make it bigger. FTF right there.
Oh man, that is awesome.
FTF.
You got to have a little bit of fun, right? I mean,
I guess, or maybe they just didn't know. I don't know.
Or maybe you sure their geocaching name is an FTF?
That would be funny too.
That would be a good geocaching name.
Yeah,
they're not.
Like FTF DNF. That would be a great geocaching name.
They found 8,603 is what they're currently, and they're from Germany. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
So
good for them. That is hilarious.
So they're German cachers, so that's cool. So anyway, all right. Final thoughts from you two guys, and we'll wrap up tonight.
Goals are important, but they shouldn't get in your way of having fun. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think it's one of those things sometimes when you talk about goals and how things are changing for the season, it can kind of help to inspire people, because sometimes we cache the way we typically cache, and then when a new season's up, I mean, like night caching in the fall, is a lot different than summertime, maybe, where it's like it gets dark a lot later, and it's a lot more convenient to do a night cache, and it's a lot cooler temperature to do a night cache.
Yeah.
So, definitely thinking of things, but again, I mean, just to touch on like safety again in hunting season, if you do have hunting season in your areas, definitely think about it, and definitely think for your caching community how you can help them out if it's for different hides out there that are more hunting season friendly on that one. And maybe more winter friendly hides too, even on that one, because up in the Northeast, if you use that attribute winter friendly, that can help people out too. So
yes,
just think of ways to help out your fellow caching community, be a part of it, because even if it's hosting or attending events on that side, that's a very cool thing to do in the fall too.
Yeah, that was my thought too, or my final thought was just safety. Wherever you are, if the season has changed, you need to think differently and think accordingly to that time of year. So if certain things occur in the fall, if certain dangers are different or not, maybe not, but obviously if you go out, be safe and know where you are and what you're doing, and always let folks know where you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're going out on the trails, make sure to wear your antler hat and Carhartts, the brown ones, so it'll keep all the other deer away, so you won't get shot.
The antler hat, and wear brown. Where's
your brown Carhartts and your antler hat? With the little antlers, that'll scare all the other deer away.
Yeah, your lucky antler hat that allows you to find all those ammo cans in the woods.
Right,
that's right. That's what'll do it.
and stoop over quite often so people can't quite tell what you're doing.
Yeah. It helps if you also run on all fours. So
yeah, and if you can find a deer costume where like the guy stands in front and the guy in the back has to bend over and it looks like a deer, why not wear that this time of year, right?
Wouldn't that be the most undignified way to die?
Let's not. Oh, that would be, or that, or being getting a Sasquatch outfit and go. Oh, I'm going to be funny and be Sasquatch.
Yeah, if you show up in the woods with a Sasquatch outfit, you deserve to get shot. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, Tony brings up a good couple of ones too. Use the hunting.
Oh yeah, use the hunting. Sorry, yeah, use the hunting attribute. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely, and have the clothes for low temperature. Andy brings us one up of the day with you, or at least in the car. Yeah, absolutely, sure. Andy. Yeah, those are great points to put out there.
I mean, that's with all joking aside, I mean that's critical. You know, we were talking and we wrap up, but I was talking to somebody the other day about the oldest in Louisiana, and they brought up the point of the guy who died at near the cache. He found it, but then they found his body not too far away, and they really I don't think I ever heard whatever happened, but things happen, and I think sometimes we've got to be safe. We got to think about, it's never going to happen to me. Well, it happens to people all the time. We always hear about somebody who gets lost. I mean, it seems like there's at least one a week nationally. You'll hear about somebody who they found, and most of the time, not always, but most of the time, it's happy where they find them, and everything's okay. But it's not always. Trust me, there's plenty that don't make it back, and so. Yeah, safety's
key. Our public service announcement is just armchair log it. It's way safer. Don't go out in the woods.
Just log it.
Just stay at home and say you found it. It was too unsafe to go out in the woods.
Log it today. Why not? No, let's not do that. All right.
Okay. All right.
So next week we'll have a cool show. Please join us next week. We're going to do near field communication. How often do we talk about NFC? Probably never. We've never had a show on it before, so this is gonna be fun. So. We're gonna have a gentleman on who has hid one and is gonna help us, so we can all hide in NFC this fall. So that'd be cool. All right,
cool.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, take care, everybody. Have a good one.
May your finds be many, and your DNFs be few. May the terrain and difficulty both be less than 2. And whatever it is you're looking for, may it find its way to you. And may we all meet again.
Folks, we hope you've enjoyed the show tonight. Please email us your comments at geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The show can be found on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, or Spotify, as well as at the Geocache Talk website. Don't forget to click that subscribe button below and ring that bell notification so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And tell your friends about the show. Get them involved with us in the chat room. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching, go geocaching.